Guys, we have crossed the AI Rubicon in Canada. It's over. We're using AI now. Congratulations if you're a Canadian. If you don't like that, move. So, the Alberta government eyes AI to write legislation for the first time. Not Alberta government writing regulation on AI. The Alberta government is using AI to write regulation. Now, there's two sides of the AI fence. There's people on the adoption side. AI is great. Oh my God, like more productivity, great. We look at the stuff and say, oh great, finally you're doing something. There's the other side of AI resistance. And the people resisting, they might be going, oh no, it's taking over decisions at the government level. Yes. Just did another video on the federal government deploying AI to 400 of its systems internally so that government workers can be more efficient, provide better services for Canadians. And if you think that's a bad thing, then you are up shit's creek without a paddle, because this is happening. The powers that be aren't going to look at a revolutionary technology and simply ignore or even regulate it. They are going to employ, deploy, and implement it en masse. So let's get into it. If you don't recognize me yet, my name's Alex. I run an AI agency in Toronto called Peak Demand Incorporated. We help small, medium enterprise businesses as well as municipalities and transit systems adopt AI in a safe, meaningful, and compliant way. Now, we've been following the story about AI adoption in Canada for the last 3 years, and I gotta say, it's been tumultuous. Canadians have been resistant to AI more so than any other G7 nation. And it is reflected in our decaying productivity, guys. But now, governments, federal, provincial, are starting to use AI in meaningful ways, hopefully paving the way for Canadians to start using this technology. And I'm really excited because the more news that comes out about the government using AI, the more decision makers in Canada go, hey, you know what? Maybe AI is not a bad idea. Let me try using AI. They go to ChatGPT, have a conversation with ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, how can I use AI? ChatGPT gives them a bunch of different use cases for their businesses. One of those use cases, most certainly going to be AI receptionist or AI voice activated workflows. And then they're going to be like, well, how can I do that? I need help with that. And they ask how they get help. And then peak demand literally comes up in ChatGPT because of how much work we've done to be visible. So the more the government talks about the positive about AI, the better that we do in business. So thank you guys. Let's get into it. So list in quotes, write legislation that lays out the rules for an Alberta Whisky Act and what might constitute an Alberta whiskey. While the actual query would surely be more complex than that, an Alberta minister says the government is considering using AI technology to draft a forthcoming piece of legislation. Wow. Minister of Service Alberta and Red Tape Reduction Dale Nally has been asked to lay out the standards of Alberta whiskey, and he said the task represents the right sort of test case for a burgeoning technology. It's important, but there's no hearts or lungs involved, Nally said. There's no lives that are going to be lost. Look at how much these Canadians got to tell, like, to water it down for Canadians, guys. This is insane to me. Like, just go to ChatGPT, start using this shit, guys. Stop being afraid. It's pathetic. There's no lives that are going to be lost, and because it is legislation that's going to be laying out a process from the grains to the water and how things are distilled. If a mistake is made, we can course correct. Let's make up more excuses for AI, guys. It doesn't need excuses. It needs competent humans to operate it. That's what it needs. Nally said he met with Alberta Technology Minister Nate Glubish and Justice Minister Mickey Amery to ensure everyone was aligned with the idea. It takes so much internal consensus. Guys, should we use AI? Should we use it? Okay, we're going to use it. Let's go. Pathetic. Everybody agreed. Minister Amery is going to have his team look it over once it's done. So if there's any mistakes, there'll be a chance for a bit of an off-ramp. Course correct, Nally said. But we're kind of excited that you can actually use AI to write we're actually excited to use AI to write legislation now, guys. This is a good day. Look at his face. He's like, sorry, Canadians, I got to use AI for this shit. Wow, I am so excited now. I had to do a privacy impact assessment for an Alberta clinic last year. And they were so scared to use AI in any different way, they completely ignored it. Now their government's writing legislation using AI. Pathetic. Oh man! But if you do want to come back and get help, more than happy to help you. But it's just so ironic to see this stuff, guys. It's also exciting to be potentially the first jurisdiction in Canada to use AI in such a way. Now he's getting excited about it. Of course, get excited. It's amazing technology. Like, to be afraid of it is the problem. The governments of British Columbia, the Northwest Territories, Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, Quebec, Saskatchewan, and Yukon told CBC News they're not presently using AI to draft legislation, while others didn't confirm by publication time. While we continually explore tools that can improve efficiency and clarity, the process remains a human-led legal function to ensure accuracy, consistency across the statute book, constitutional compliance, and aligned with government policy, reads a statement from the BC Ministry of Attorney General. AI experts say human touch still required, and of course it is still required. Most of the operations that we employ have a human in the loop somewhere, or at least a human accessible loop somewhere, call transfer, whatever. Guys, AI is not doing everything. We got to stop thinking about iRobot and clankers. We got to start thinking about workflows that you press a button, a whole bunch of shit gets done. You press a button again and more shit gets done. That's AI. Jonathan Schaefer, a professor emeritus of computer science at the University of Alberta and former Canada Research Chair in Artificial Intelligence, sees the move as innovative and groundbreaking as long as superior safeguards are in place. As we all know, we've seen lots of news stories where people have blindly used AI to do something, and it's full of factual mistakes, and somebody usually gets embarrassed by it. No one gets embarrassed. No one gives a shit about their AI-generated content, guys. They're just looking for more clicks. Nice hair, brother. Jonathan Schaefer is a professor emeritus of computer science at the University of Alberta. Using AI to draft legislation is fine, Schaefer said, as long as the humans take responsibility along the process. Humans must understand. I love how people are starting to use this language now, because we live in a world where this intelligence has to be referred to as some sort of entity or thing making decisions. We also need to refer to people as humans. It's the bottom line. Humans must understand what legislation is saying and it's missing and what needs to be fixed, he said. They also have to put it in the Alberta context. The AI has been trained on the world's knowledge, so it's a vast amount of information in there, he said. Many of the things it's trained on might include in legislation, just might not be right for our country, our province, or the sensibilities of Alberta culture or mindset. So that's an issue with training. They're using a single layer of inference, which would let's just say Llama or OpenAI language model, having the world's knowledge in it. You can't just rely on just one layer of inferencing to generate such an important piece of content, because it is content, as what would be a regulation or a legislature you can't use OpenAI just how it is to develop a legislation for that is specific to a certain context. In this case, Alberta. You would have to train that model into it would become another model on a layer of information specific to that jurisdiction, which would be Alberta. So you give it a whole bunch of Alberta laws, cases, context for whiskey, what have you. Then you ask it again, hey, build me some ideations for legislation, and we'll work through them together. That's a human in the loop process using AI, and it's very comprehensive. It's very good. So, and this is where being an AI operator allows you to sort of take a step back from all the noise and the bullshit and the AI slop and say, we are just literally looking at a skill issue. It's a skill gap. Those who have the skills in AI can easily see most humans do not have the skills, and that's why they're afraid and running from it. But the ones who do have the skills are creating extremely powerful things, guys. Legislation being one of them. It's the bottom line. The world's going to be separated into two groups: AI operators and the people who pay them, and then everyone else on the downstream using the AI tools at the calling people on the phone and getting an AI agent, having them place an order for pizza. That's going to be downstream users. They're going to love AI too, because they're not going to have to wait for humans to bumble around systems. They're going to be talking to robots doing everything automatically. Everyone's going to love this stuff. Come on, guys. Proof of concept. In October, Nally was tasked with defining the rules for a product to be legally labeled as Alberta whiskey. The government is currently consulting with industry on what the definition should be. Alberta whiskey, of course, means different things to different people. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at what they're saying in this thing, actually. Can we? Oh, CBC. Come on, just one ad, guys. Just one. Just one ad.
You've probably heard about Kentucky bourbon, French champagne, or even Mexican tequila. Iconic drinks known for their region of origin. But does Alberta whiskey deserve a place on that shelf? Local producers and the Alberta government sure think so. And to help get it on the map, the government wants to create an Alberta Whiskey Act. With that comes a legal definition of what Alberta whiskey actually is. Distillers could then slap a special label on their homegrown spirits. And there's also talk about developing a whiskey trail to draw tourists in, inspired in part from a trip this Alberta minister took to Louisville, Kentucky.
You know, they have the Bourbon Trail in Kentucky, attracts 2 million visitors a year. Well, look at all the people that come to Alberta for Banff and Jasper. If we could just get a small fraction of them to come check out the Whiskey Trail, which doesn't exist, by the way, but who knows? Maybe that's in the future.
Producers say they can see the benefits, bringing in more business, jobs, and even tourism opportunities.
Alberta has never really, celebrated the fact that we have all of the ingredients for making a great whiskey.
People are split on what exactly those ingredients might be. Is it the mountain water, the climate, the grain or corn? Or is it about something less tangible, like Alberta's entrepreneurial spirit?
Some 80% of
this is such a Canadian video, guys.
Are made with Alberta barley.
Passing out here.
So the question is, why aren't we doing it here?
One whiskey expert says Alberta already has the foundations of a great whiskey region, but a legal definition of whiskey, he's not sure that's what will take things to the next level.
Passing legislation seems a little bit heavy-handed. I think, and especially when you consider how many distilleries you're working with, people are going to keep changing what they're doing and keep changing their minds. I think it would be better to have a broad outline. Like if you qualify for Alberta tax breaks, your whiskey is called Alberta whiskey or something like that.
And if there needs to be a
interesting
definition,
use case for the AI
the
to
province
decipher.
Doesn't get too specific, keeping things more about where it's made than how it's made. Joel Dryden, CBC
Oh
News,
man, that looks
Calgary.
good. I love dark liquor. I don't get to drink it so much. When I do, you get that nice whiff of it. Oh, it's good stuff. Anyways, guys, a very benign yet meaningful use case for AI to develop legislation for. No problem with and I actually think that's a really great problem for AI to solve. What constitutes an AI, or what constitutes an Alberta whiskey? Is it the workflow that led to its creation, or is it just the jurisdiction to which it was created? Really, really good questions, and really great to bounce off of AI. Good job, Alberta. You're doing good. You're doing good shit with AI, man. Good for you guys. Keenan Pascal, CEO of Edmonton-based Hanson Distillery, said he's excited about the prospect of Alberta better representing its products on an international scale. To Pascal, an Alberta whiskey has a lot to do with the particular ingredients and environment of the province. If we go to Japan and we go internationally, Canadian whiskey already has a really great profile, Pascal said. Now this Alberta story is just another arm, another expansion of amazing history of whiskey making. Should AI be used to write the whiskey rules? Nally said the legislation would be still subject to all levels of approval to ensure checks and balances are met. Everyone got checks and balances, make sure AI doesn't do anything stupid. Meanwhile, we got stupid humans running around doing all sorts of stupid shit. We may go down this path and say, yeah, it was great, but we wouldn't do it again, right? Or we may say, wow, this is something that needs to be incorporated. But, God damn it. Everyone's doing it, guys. They can't. I love watching humans try and resist. It's so cute. It's not going to get rid of the legislative writer, but it'd certainly be a compliment. Nally said he's hopeful the whiskey rules will come forward on the legislative agenda this spring. Guys, we are doing it here in this country. Look at this guy's hair. It is crazy, just like how AI is writing legislation for Canadians. We have Canadian government quietly deploying AI to 400 different systems. We have Alberta, first province to have AI write legislation, not regulate AI. There's regulating AI with suppressing it. There's having AI write the regulation. That's empowering AI profoundly. This is going to be a global case. It's going to be a global news piece once they're done with this stuff. And I'm really, all this news is getting me excited because more and more Canadians are going to start looking for AI solutions, and they're going to try them themselves, and they're going to fail, and then they're going to be like, I need help, and they're going to come to us. So I'm really excited for the business, but I'm really excited for Canada as a whole, because if we have an AI sweep across the country, we're going to live in a better country, guys. We're not going to live in a worse country because of AI. We live in a worse country because we let the days pass and not do anything now. Real estate's going to shit. Manufacturing's going to shit. Everything's going to shit. We need something to bring us out of the shit pipe of the Shawshank Redemption. The AI redemption, so to speak. So I'm super excited. This was like my fourth video today. I'm on a tear. I'm just excited today, guys. But if you like this type of content, you like what we're covering here, you like the story of AI developing in Canada, hit like, hit subscribe, stick around for more, baby. But if you don't like my face, you don't like how I sound, you don't like my glasses, you don't like AI, you don't like anything, you don't like Canada, hit dislike, leave a comment. We really appreciate it all, guys. Really, we truly appreciate all of your engagement because it gets us more business. It doesn't even matter if it says, Alex, you're ugly and stupid, I hate you. That's going to get us more business, guys. So if you feel like you're in a given mood and you want to let off some steam, do it in the comments because it really helps us. And man, I am super looking forward to the next one. Bye now.